Today, I have a powerful reminder to any of you out there who are manifesting something lovingly amazing in your reality, and you don't see the evidence of that just yet. This video is to help you see a clear picture of who you have been showing up as and how you're interacting with your reality. And it's a very good idea or a very good reason why maybe things haven't changed yet and what we can do to fix that immediately, right now, right in this moment. Hello to my fellow manifestors, my fellow limitless, flawless HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. If you celebrate Easter, well then happy Easter to those of you who do. I do still cook a dinner on Easter, and that's what I'm getting down and doing. And if you're doing something similar, I hope everything comes out well, just like I hope everything I'm cooking comes out well, just saying. Today we're going to talk about something that I used to trip myself up over all the time, and I would get very frustrated over reality. And a few of the people that I have coached along this journey can agree that they also found themselves doing. And that is trying to fix, trying to change, trying to move things in the reality that they're not pleased with, in a reality where things aren't looking at all like we want them to. We get into that place of fixating on what we're not happy with, fixating on the things that we think are the blocks in between what we want or the obstacles in between our desires. And our mind, doing its job, is trying to find answers, is trying to find ideas for you to fixate and continue fixing. Because that's what our mind is trained to do, which is why ask-formations, what-if questions get your mind busy doing its job, searching for answers on what we can do differently. But we are trained as humans to look out into reality, see what we don't like, and then try to move that thing, try to fix that thing, try to get it out of our way. Or what I think is worse, we give up entirely and we see that obstacle as something that is never going to move. And that's just simply not the truth. It will move. If I can do it, anyone can do it. My dog agrees. And if you're new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and yeah, I like to get what I want. I like to get it in a timely fashion, and I like to know everything there is to know about conscious manifestation. If you can handle that and handle my sass, well, I would love for you to subscribe and become my new friend and join in on our consistent manifestation chatter over on this channel. Join my community of HBICs, the head bitches, boys, badasses, bosses of their reality, in charge of their reality. So as I was mentioning, that one of the things that I used to catch myself up on, and now that I coach people, I see that they're doing something similar. And that is when they are trying to fixate, tweak, analyze, chase stuff in their current reality. So for instance, if you're trying to manifest a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, and maybe in that relationship, what you want is better contact, better communication between you and your specific person. And my old self would try to fix that. I would become fixated in how he wasn't contacting me, or that he wasn't saying the things that I was hoping to hear from him. You know, all the lovey-dovey stuff. I wasn't experiencing it. I wasn't getting the daily text messages. And even when I did get the daily text messages, they were quick. They felt meaningless. They felt empty. It felt like it was someone just doing their due diligence to quickly respond or give me the shout out and then end the conversation there. Like it would not continue, where I wanted to have fulfilling conversation. I wanted the text messages to keep going. And yeah, that wasn't happening. So I would do what? I would fixate. I would fixate in it. Another way of saying it, and in my older content, I've been posting videos on manifestation for over 5 years now. So there's a lot of videos. And in my old content, you'll hear me talk about marinating. I would marinate in, it's not happening, it's not working, nothing's changing. And I would get frustrated. I would contemplate giving up. I would also go through the spiral of how manifestation just doesn't work for me, or maybe it's just all garbage as a whole, just doesn't work. I would go down the same road that I'm sure you have found yourself thinking about at least once along your journey. And what I really had to allow to sink in is you are not here to fix the old. We are not here to fix what we think is broken or what we think is not working successfully in our reality. We're not here to fix that. And oh, how we want to. We're here to embody the new. We're here to be the new self, the new version of ourselves that is experiencing the reality we prefer. We're here to bring our attention, our awareness to that. And speaking truthfully, that doesn't always feel very easy. I know it doesn't. I didn't find it very easy because I was always scared. In the back of my mind, that thought would be, yeah, but what if this doesn't work? What if I spend my time focusing on this new reality? I grow to really like the idea of this new reality. My heart gets attached to it, and then it doesn't manifest. Then what am I going to do? I've been wasting all this time. At least that's where my mind used to go. I've been putting in so much time on this. I've been putting so much on the line for this because I would have told you back then that my heart, me allowing someone extra time in my heart was a big deal. It was a big deal for me to reach out and go all in, especially into a relationship, because I wanted to protect myself. I wanted to protect my heart. So what I can do is I can tell you that yes, manifestation does work. It always works. Always. It might not always look like it's working, but it is. And our job, you can think of it as like co-creating, co-working with the universe, with God, with consciousness, with your subconscious mind. Your conscious awareness, your conscious mind, which is the mind that is interacting with me right now in this moment. That's your conscious mind. Our job is to, in a sense, again, this is just my own way of describing it, working with the universe, working with our higher self, the I am, whatever you personally believe is that absolute. Our job is to work with it, guide it. And I know that sounds crazy. I'm guiding God, I'm guiding the universe. Yes, you are working with consciousness. You are. And how we react and respond to things is allowing Source to see that we choose that. We select that. So when we look at things out in reality and we say yes to it, like, yes, this is happening. Yes, I don't like this. Yes, this isn't working out. Okay. She enjoys this reality. She likes this reality. She wants this to continue. She keeps bringing her attention to it. She keeps fixating. She keeps placing her eyeballs and thoughts, her awareness on all these things. So she must want more. This must feel good. I know, isn't that ass backwards? But that's what's happening. Now, this is not me in any way telling you have to be afraid of thinking thoughts or afraid of your fearful thoughts. That's just not true. But what you are in conviction of is, in a sense, helping you to make a choice, a selection, which is why when we want a particular reality to get out of the way so that the reality we prefer would be here, Our job is to think about that new reality. Think about who we would be in that reality. Give our attention, our awareness, our thought, our focus to that. Think of it as the version of you who's living in the fulfilled reality, the version of you who really is fulfilled, happy, in love, or maybe you're manifesting money or health. The version of you who's got all the money that version of you has ever wanted. That version of you isn't trying to fix obstacles in reality. That version of you isn't focusing on the things they're not happy with. That version of you isn't worrying about paying a bill. That version of you isn't worrying about how come your specific person didn't text you this morning. That version of you is focused on the fulfillment, the contentment, the inner ease, no longer feeling worried. That version of you trusts that this is working. That version of you is lighting up the reality that the version of you right now wants to be in. This is why we give it our attention now. So when we see an obstacle, when we see something that we want to stop happening, don't try to fix it. Replace it. Replace it with what you do want to happen. When you're getting yourself worked up that you haven't received the contact you want, allow yourself to think of, what if you were getting so much contact that you couldn't keep up with the phone? If that feels good. What would it feel like if that was your normal, to have constant contact? What would it feel like to be the you who never had to worry about getting a text ever again? What would it feel like if it was your normal to know, absolutely, my specific person is in love with me and is choosing me? What would that feel like? And think of that. Every single time you allow yourself to think that way, that's you going to that reality. It might not feel like it. It might feel like you're in the same exact spot you were just in, but you've moved. You've moved. That's how fast state shifts are, reality shifts are. It's hard to trust that, and I understand that. You trusting that isn't the concern right now. What we should be focusing on is the who we want to be, the reality we want to be in. All the other things will come naturally. The trust, the belief, the faith, all of that will come. So don't worry if you don't right now, if you don't believe, you don't trust. It's okay. That will come. If something pops up in reality that is upsetting, you're allowed to have your feelings and emotions. But think of it as, I'm not going to stay upset this time. No, my response time is going to be different because I'm choosing different. I'm allowing myself to think of my new reality instead of reacting to the old. So think of it as, no, I'm transcending this. I'm not going to let this ruin my whole day anymore. Or I'm not going to let this ruin my month, my week. I'm going to transcend it the best way I know how. That doesn't mean I'm pushing and stuffing down my emotions and feelings. No, I am choosing to allow myself to think about the reality I prefer. And you've got no one to beg. We don't have to beg God. We don't have to beg the universe. We don't have to beg our higher selves. And we most certainly don't have to beg people in reality. Instead of begging for change, we be the change. We be it. How do you be who you want to be? How do you be that change? You simply allow yourself to think about, what if you were that person right now? That's being. Allowing yourself to think about, if you had everything you wanted in this moment, what would it feel like? What would your world look like? I say a lot just out of repetition is, what would a day in your life look like if you were in the desired reality right now? How would you plan your day? How would you plan your day if you had the relationship you wanted, or if you had the career you wanted? How would you plan your day? And think about it. That's you designing it right now. Every time you allow yourself to go into your imagination and think about the desired reality, boom, done. You're there. It's that simple. It just doesn't always feel so simple. So try to remember today, we're not trying to fix anything in our reality. We're trying to leave that behind. We're moving ourselves to the new reality by not allowing this to hold us back anymore, by not allowing circumstances to hold us back, to hold us down, or to fool us into thinking that they're never going to change. They are changing. They must. They must. Why do I say that with such confidence? Because if your focus and attention is on your new reality, you must land there. You must. So the circumstances, the obstacles, they really are nothing. Every time you choose to think of the new reality, think of it as that's one moment closer of that being your dominant, your new home, your new normal. So on that note, again, if you celebrate Easter, happy Easter. If not, well, I hope you have a happy Sunday. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.